Oh, hello there, Site 42 staff, as well as those of you from the greater SCP Foundation community. And welcome to another Coffee Break with Dr. Sherman, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. As always, I am Dr. Theron Sherman, Site Director here at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. And as I have done for the last 10.5 months and counting, because the daily stream streak must remain strong, I'm here to open my office door to you, the SCP Foundation staff, to answer your burning questions about this dark and mysterious place of employment we call the SCP Foundation. So whether you have questions about the anomalies we contain, the staff who contain them, the groups of interest who try to stop us from containing them, or hypothetical containment procedures about anomalies that fall outside of the SCP Foundation's purview, perhaps they're from a different multiverse and pataphysical narrative level, maybe, i.e. fandom. Either way, we are here for the next approximately 1 hour and change. But before I begin with some standard Q&A, let me start with the housekeeping. Lucas the intern, congratulations on being our #1 most punctual member of today's Containment Hazard Assessment team, i.e. congratulations on being first chatter. Meanwhile, Chester Factory, Philip November, Trans Girl, Researcher Alex, Captain Evil Greasy John, Not a Chaos Insurgency Spy, 100 Stars, Just Pitt, Oates, Aoki, Stephen Tambari. Everyone who I have just named, thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being members here at Site 42 on YouTube. We appreciate your membership and your service. Furthermore, Alice the Angel, Maria, Blue Swiggle, Amelia Buck, DJ, and Therese. Welcome to today's stream. Thank you for being here punctually, and thank you for being here just for being you today. Furthermore, happy International Women's Day to all of those who it applies to here on Foundation staff. Please help yourself to some snacks at the commissary, I guess. We're serious business people doing work here. Have your little celebrations and get back to work. Yes, okay, I'm back on track. So, today's stream is sponsored. Today's stream is sponsored by the current ongoing Kickstarters we are supporting here at Site 42. This means that we're not being paid to sponsor these, but they are SCP projects, and I am giving my time to support them. Of course, Eye of the Beholder is running out of time, 4 days to go. I have given to it, but not many people have. This is an original audio narrative podcast in the SCP Foundation. It is in a desperate situation. It needs a last-minute savior, and unfortunately that can't be me. I can't do this for every project. I wish I could just fund every project, but this is a teamwork situation, an original audio narrative podcast in the SCP Foundation universe, good production values, interesting episode 1. Go to their Kickstarter, which is in our support beacon. Check out the episode 1 link. And if you like it, consider funding it to help us get the rest of the season. Now, to the Kickstarter we're not so worried about. Oh my gosh, SCP Gallionic just keeps climbing. They are 6.5 thousand euros away from the full 20-minute episode. So we need that last 6,000 euros to get the full 20-minute episode. Stretch goals past that are a cherry addition. But continue the SCP Gallionic love, and let's get this thing fully funded. Furthermore, reminder, tomorrow at 2 p.m. here on the Site42 channel, 2 p.m. Pacific time, my local time zone, we will be interviewing one of the creators from SOM Studios, from SCP Gallionic, aka SCP the Anime. I'm going to tag a channel in the Site42 Discord server by the name of ABS42. We haven't used the Anomalous Broadcast from Site42 server channel in a while, because usually you guys are in chat. It's easy enough to talk to you here. But we're going to use it today, because if you have questions for the SOM Studios team regarding SCP the Anime, I'm going to ask you to leave your questions there so I can pull questions from the chat if you know what your questions will be ahead of time. And that way, if you are not present at the stream due to scheduling, your question could still be asked. Now, I do not guarantee I will ask every question. Some of them might be cut for time, some of them might be duplicates, some of them might not just be appropriate subject matter for the short-term interview we're doing. So you can leave your questions, I don't promise to ask them all. But we will do our best to interrogate these anime creators so we know they're doing the job we want them to do. That's what we do here, we interrogate. So I will tag the proper server in the Site42 Discord server, the proper channel that is, after we're done with today's stream. But that ends our sponsorship segment, and so now I can return to the chat and we can start the stream subject. Or before I do, let me catch up with the donations that have come in during the intro. Don't want to neglect those. Intern Gibbous Cereal, thank you for your first 2 donations to today's stream. Grab yourself some Malamars on your way past the commissary. I bring news of the Blade and Sorcery Dimension. They are peaceful until provoked. What do you mean, the Blade and Sorcery Dimension? I think most dimensions that we've come across that are of some sort of fantasy compared to our universe, that would be a Blade and Sorcery Dimension. Is there one specific that's named that? I'm confused. I need more information. Intern Gibbous. Intern Hustug and Y-Twin. Welcome to Site42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Philip November, thank you for your first donation to today's stream as well as being a member. Grab yourself some steel-cut oatmeal on your way past the commissary. I'm looking forward to the new scary movie. While the pronoun joke is overused, they are equal opportunity offenders. Scary Movie 1 and 2, I remember watching and enjoying. I didn't really keep up with them afterwards, so I'm kind of ambivalent on the subject. God, that pronoun joke is old, though. There are funnier pronoun jokes. We make pronoun jokes all the time. You can... Equal opportunity offender is not an excuse for laziness. That's what I'm going to say. That's what I'm going to say, is you can offend them better. Try harder. I'm going to give a shout out to YouTube channel Nando V Movies. Or maybe it was on his side channel, the Nando Cut. I don't know. But he went over that particular joke. See, now you got me started. Now you got me started. And to quote Nando, or to summarize Nando, cheeky Nando you. They could have done the joke better by having the same start have the person say, oh no, I am a they. Did you just misgender me? But then have like everyone take the intensity of the murder scene really far down as a contrast and be like, oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, no, you didn't know. It's fine. Oh, and even the killer's like, yeah, we got to be really careful in these times. See? Puppy of Interest 42, codename Charlie, agrees with my agreement of Nando's media takes. And as such, gets a wonderful hello. Come here. Stop squirming. Stop squirming. Be contained. And so, yes, Puppy of Interest 42 also agrees with putting effort into your media takes. Yes, you have said hello to the chat. They're very happy to see you. And because we have this at the moment, here is a treat for the Bab. Long story short, I hope the movie's good, because I always hope the movie's good and artists put their weight behind their projects and they think clever and they don't do cheap cash grabs, low effort. I like to see people put the work in. That's true for the SCP community's works, and that's true for just general works. Hope for the best. Intern LR says you're not allowed to have animals at Site 42. I am the site director. You do not dictate to me the rules. Intern Makuro, thank you for sending a 100 to today's Containment Hazard Assessment team. I am certain they will keep it 100 at your urging. Intern Gibbous, thank you for donating again to say, you don't want to know, sir. Okay, then handle it. Hi, I'm new. Well, welcome intern Baratza to the Site 42 daily stream. We have been streaming daily for 10.5 months. Yes, we explain the SCP Foundation in our videos, but we also do general daily Q&As, talk about on-site happenings, answer your questions about the Foundation. So, welcome to the daily stream. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we go live. And because the YouTube bell can be a little unreliable, if you are over the age of 18, you may join the Site 42 Discord server, if you can find it. And that will allow you to have the live alert YouTube role on our Discord, which I ping at the start of every stream. The fact that the puppy said hello just made my whole day. I'm happy for you, Intern Willow. Willows? Where'd your name go? Yes, Intern Willows. I'm happy for you. That is the sweetest pumpkin on site by far. Always a good day when Puppy of Interest 42 is running around. That's what I was looking for. Hey, Dr. Sherman, are you planning on covering the unseen fan arts this Friday? Yes, Ophelia unavailable. I publicly apologize that we didn't think to check the spam folder. No one had been sent to spam before for Fan Art Friday. Yes, they will be backlogged and revealed. Our bad. Dr. Frogman, thank you for bringing this up on this of all days, International Women's Day. Why don't we support a woman, a terrifying woman, who we all fear and adore in equal measure? SCP author Radiger, as in the SCP author of all SCPs except the bad ones, is on YouTube with a new video today. Bugs. You may wonder how I've already watched it. It is because I am a Patreon patron of Radiger. And Radiger does early releases. So I have comments on Radiger videos from a week ago. You should get on that.
Hey, Radiger, author author of every SCP except the one in this video. Welcome back to another episode of SCP Analysis, a very nerdy and boring show where I, creator of the SCP Wiki, don't fact check that, analyze how an SCP works as a piece of writing, instead of just telling you what happens. As my subscribers already know because I tell them in advance, today we're covering SCP-6502, Harwick Cemetery by Big Sloth on my face.
I'll let her say the author name. But yes, Radiger is your favorite SCP YouTuber's favorite SCP YouTuber. Go watch their new video. Go watch all their videos. I just recently rewatched their Content Farm series. Her Content Farm series is very good, and it gives a great explanation for people who don't understand why the SCP author community can be a little touchy about those animated videos. You watch Radiger's Content Farm series, you understand it very easily. You see, International Women's Day, we are supporting women. Good work, us. Now, with that, I move to today's stream subject, which is a very simple stream subject. What's the best tag on the SCP database? In case you are unfamiliar with what I speak of, at the bottom of every SCP article, for instance, SCP-2000, if we go to the bottom, you will see a list of tags. These tags are how we organize the SCP database based on the subject matter of the anomalies. So SCP-2000 is a temporal anomaly. It is a structure. It has historical themes. It has genetic components. It includes Dr. Clef, Dr. Gears. So tags can be characters involved. It can be the object class. It can involve the genre. The tags help you figure out what you are dealing with. And if you click on any tag, for instance, let's check on old Alto over here. Alto Clef can be seen to be present in 278 pages on the SCP database. That is just how many pages Dr. Clef is on. But furthermore, we can scroll down to the tag cloud, a list of every single tag on the SCP database. You'll notice some of them are bigger if they have more pages linked to them. License box is the most tagged thing. There are so many. So today's question is quite simple. For our short little coffee break today, in between your general Q&A, we're going to look at some tags, and we're going to see what's good, what's fun, why are they there? Because to have a tag on the SCP Wiki, I believe you have to have your subject matter in at least 5 pages on the situation. Oddly, I don't think you can see the tag license box. Dr. Frogman, you are incorrect. It's just the placement. License box has an underscore at the beginning. I do not know why these bottom ones have underscores, and then they don't up here. These are the underscored ones. These are the non-underscored ones. I am a bit confused about why. So, obviously, I'm not just going to sit here and just read out every single tag. We don't have time. Instead, I want you guys, on your devices, to scour through the tags and show me some good ones. Is there a tag for SCP-999? Because that would be the best one. Intern Spamius, I do not believe Nines has a tag. Most individual anomalies do not have their own tag. Although I did see one tag that I'm already calling out for being interesting. The first one that spoke out to me is related to one of my... Honestly, I gotta add Dr. Spanko to my favorite list at some point. Because SCP-2337, codename Dr. Spanko, in case you're unfamiliar, is an anomalous corncrake, a burb. But it can speak, well, I would say English, but it typically speaks in word salad, jumble. There's apparently meaning under it, we just don't understand it. It also speaks at a decibel level that unless you have very high-tech hearing protection, it will completely burn your eardrums out. It is very loud, boy. But the reason I bring up SCP-2337 is there is a story... Baby girl, the stream is not all about you. The stream is not all about you, little one. I'm talking about another small and loud creature.
She wants to play with it. Perhaps it is friendly. Can baby test it?
Very excitable. You go play with that other burb. Oh my god, so many things just happened at once. Give me a second. So, as I was saying, Dr. Spanko has a series on the SCP database. Dr. Spanko has a series, and if you understand one of its, many of its catchphrases, for instance, it calls its favorite food, gummy worms, strangle fruits. Strangle fruits are its favorite snack. Obviously, because the gummy worm going down its throat, it gets stuck, it's a burb. But furthermore, it just likes to punctuate sentences or exclaim in jubilation or anger, "Crack!" It will give you an extremely convoluted sentence that makes barely any sense. Crack! Well, there's a story on the database called Cackhard. Cackhard is like Die Hard, but it's SCP-2337, Dr. Spanko. Now, I have not read Cackhard. I am now just remembering this exists at all. But number one, I think it's funny that Cackhard does in fact have a tag. Cackhard, the series, is a tag. And that's just fun. But every once in a while, when you're on the SCP database, you find out information you don't want to in real life. And so this is a safety warning from Dr. Sherman at Site 42 of the SCP Foundation. Content warning, serious business, for pedo allegations. So if that makes you uncomfortable, then take a minute away from stream. You see, I looked up Cackhard because it's got a funny name. And I thought Cackhard was by the creator of Dr. Spanko, Dave You Fool. User Dave You Fool, creator of the also cool lit RPG series, Neverstone. If you have ever heard of the Neverstone book series, at least I believe that's what it's called, Neverstone Ned Caractus. I was right. The Neverstone book series by Ned Caractus, that is the author, Dave You Fool, of SCP fame. And so it's just cool that this person we like has cool SCP stories and is not bad. We like Dave You Fool. We like Ned Caractus. No problems here. No. The problem comes when I pull up Cackhard and I am ready for a wonderful Dr. Spanko tale. And I even have a funny where I see this picture of SCP-049 and SCP-2337, Dr. Spanko, and this gator that I believe to be a representative of SCP-682. So this is a funny photo right here. Everyone's happy. And then I move up to written and directed by Gabriel Jade. So, it is now when I regret to inform you that Gabriel Jade, SCP author, was also banned from the wiki for sexual contact with minors in Discord messages and things like that. This is not gone to any legal proceedings because this is online stuff. And as you know, these kind of grooming allegations and things like that online rarely go to the law enforcement. Everything between the wiki, the victim, and the accused is alleged for my legal purposes of being on a platform of public note. But I can say with legitimate fact that Gabriel Jade was banned from the SCP Wiki for that thing. And if you are unfamiliar with SCP author Gabriel Jade, you might be familiar with their most prominent work, SCP-049. The Plague Doctor. Funny Pestilence Boy. Now, specifically Gabriel Jade wrote the original Plague Doctor. The rewrite of the Plague Doctor was a collaboration between Gabriel Jade on the rewrite with other prominent SCP author DJ Cactus. So the new version is a collaboration between two creators. But yes, as a final note on this, let me please remind you. Everyone thought I was talking about Bruno for a minute. And just because I see this question, and I'm going to answer it real quick. Does that mean Dr. Sherman worked with Gabriel since he did the voicing? No, regular Sherm has never spoken to Gabriel Jade, actually. I was contacted by DJ Cactus because I had worked on voice work with Cactus before. So, specifically, Dr. Sherman collaborated with Cactus. It just so happened that Gabriel Jade was also in that mix somewhere. But yes, everyone thought I was talking about Bruno when I was actually talking about someone else. And these are not the only two people who have been banned from the SCP community for grooming allegations and the like. Let me just point out to you, a lot of people get distraught and they say to themselves, oh damn, SCP has a grooming problem. And I want to clarify to you, no it doesn't. The world has a grooming problem. I always bring up this metaphor and it makes me very sad. The United States has a population of around 330 million people. Our sex offender registry in the United States of America is 1 million people. 1 out of every 330 people in America is a convicted sex pest. That doesn't even count the people who weren't caught. So if you're in a room with 330 people, statistically, one of them is that kind of problem. Let alone all of the other problematic people that might be in there. So use this for two things. Number one, as I said, SCP doesn't have a grooming problem. Humanity has a grooming problem. If you get any collection of that many people around, you're likely to have a bad apple. The second thing I want you to take in mind with that is to consider that for your protection and wariness in public. If you are in a group of people, don't let it make you paranoid. Don't let it ruin your life and make you hyper alert and cause issues. Just always know where your exits are. Practice self-defense and strategy in a way that you're aware of your surroundings. Good that I don't live in America. Dr. Moonston, I regret to inform you that the statistics will likely be similar around the world. You see, where America has the gangbuster record on mass shootings because of our amazing record of gun ownership compared to the rest of the world, you don't need a gun to do a grooming. And so I haven't looked at the statistics for other countries, but I imagine they're a little closer in that set. Okay, I need to get off of the bummer subjects. Welcome back, everyone. We're back to normal things. What is SCP? Intern Cherie? Well, welcome back from your amnestic coma, since you are a staff member at the SCP Foundation. Clearly, you have been treated with amnestics to forget some trauma. Welcome back to consciousness. Let me explain. The SCP Foundation is a secret organization that is tasked, well, by ourselves, to hide monsters, magic, and all sorts of anomalies that don't follow the standard rules of nature, and we hide them from the public so that they can go on with their normal lives. The SCP Foundation is basically like the Men in Black from that movie, but instead of wearing suits and hiding just aliens, we wear lab coats and we study all sorts of anomalies. And so the SCP Foundation handles this situation with grace and aplomb, and we've done so for many, many years. We keep secrets, we secure, we contain, we protect. Now, if you were to look at the pataphysical narrative level above us, meaning where our authors are, then the SCP Wiki is a creative writing community and fandom based around a secret organization that hides magic and monsters from the public. And so, it is a fan fiction community with a with a quality floor, because you have to vote on stories that are submitted, and if it goes into negatives, it gets deleted. And so it's basically just somewhat slightly elevated fan fiction at the end of the day. There we go. Let me double check this real quick. Clear. Excellent. Chat is working again. Love to see it. Have you heard that Nintendo wants to sue the US government? Well, Intern Taki, while politics and the governmental situations international does not really bother the SCP Foundation, as a secret non-governmental organization, we work under the noses of all world governments, so usually their little squabbles are not my problem. But I am having a laugh at SCP 5004-B, President Donald Trump of the United States of America, screwing things up so bad that all of the companies in the world that are normally suckers to world governments in general are now on the offensive. I think that is very silly. Do we even get paid? Intern Cherie, you don't need to be paid until you retire from the Foundation, because we provide all the food and drinks that you need on site. Now, with that in mind, when it comes to retirement, which, as you can imagine, in a dangerous line of business such as ours, it is rather rare for someone to reach retirement, then we do amnesticize you and put you out to pasture, or out to public, so to speak, with an amount of financial restitution to give you a solid life after your employment with us. We set you up depending on your rank and how well you did as a Foundation staff member. We set you up with a home, we set you up with a cover job, a background, and then you can live your life like it never happened. Intern Avanya, Intern Eldrake, and Intern Sarah V. Welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. Chesta Factory, you are correct. The like count is currently at 82 and the viewer count is at 69. Nice. That means that you have more likes than viewers, chat. That means that by hitting that like button so much, the YouTube algorithm is being forced by our power to bring us more viewers. To bring us people who never heard of SCP, so we can explain it to them and get them into it. To bring people to us who have heard of SCP, but never really thought about it too hard. But hey, this guy seems fun, let's hang out with him for a bit. The chat seems nice. And that is how we get more people in the SCP fandom. More people who will help us to support the SCP Wiki and its authors, artists, animators, game devs, filmmakers, merch makers, podcasters, etc. And that's how we get AAA SCP games. That's how we get feature films in theaters of the SCP Foundation. The path is well worn in front of us, and we are walking it together. So I thank you for your service. Mobile Task Force Psi 42, codename the Signal Boosters. Philip November, thank you for donating again to say. Dr. Sherman, I want to give a shout out to Quinn's Ideas and his video on the book, There Is No Anti-Memetics Division. Interesting. Well, anyone supporting the SCP community, I can't complain about that. Plus, I do not get a lot of... What's the phrase I'm looking for? I don't often see a lot of videos from the book side of YouTube. And so that's very fun for this, what did you call them? Quinn's Ideas channel. I'm glad to hear of them, and you've just got me down a rabbit hole today after I get off stream and start driving to my cover job. I'm going to be looking up a bunch of reviews of There Is No Anti-Memetics Division and seeing what they're saying about it online. Getting some, listening to what the book readers have to say from those of us not inside the SCP Foundation. It is rare when an SCP work goes so mainstream, so it'll be fun to investigate. What's your favorite SCP? Intern Guts. I always say my favorite SCPs at the end of stream. It's kind of a tradition around here. And that's going to be in about 30 minutes. So if you want to hang out for 30 minutes, that's cool. If you want to cheat and go to yesterday's stream, then you can watch the end of that stream to find out. Or you can donate and ask, and I'll tell you right away. Either way, you now have 3 ways to figure it out. Dr. Sherman, what does SPC mean? Intern Marlin, SPC is the moniker acronym for the Shark Punching Center. They are a rival group from the Foundation that handles shark-based punching. Yeah, their whole thing is kicking ass, taking names, and by kicking ass, I mean punching sharks. They do love punching sharks. Philip November, thank you for donating again to say, There Is No Anti-Memetics Division actually isn't based in the SCP universe. So, I'm a little confused by your statement, but I believe what you're trying to say. You're trying to talk about the fact that the new release of There Is No Anti-Memetics Division does not mention the SCP Foundation by name. And that is true. There Is No Anti-Memetics Division originated as a series on the SCP Wiki. And when the book was first published by author Quantum, it was self-published, and it held all of the SCP Foundation references, as well as the Creative Commons release. Now, when Quantum took that to, I think it was Penguin Random House is the new publisher. When Quantum took it to a legit publisher, they wanted to release it without the Creative Commons, because of course they did. The whole point of the SCP community project from my end on Site 42 is the fact that these movie studios, these book publishing companies, these game developments, they will never make an actual honest-to-God SCP project because they don't want to release it Creative Commons. They don't want people to be able to reuse their work and just credit them. They want to have sole ownership, sole control. And so Quantum did what is allowed, copyright-wise, by stripping the SCP universe from the book and making it its own thing. Now there is no Anti-Memetics Division is not an SCP property anymore. However, it's still a situation where we're claiming there is no Anti-Memetics Division as an SCP thing. It was an SCP thing. We all know it was. And when it comes to people looking at there is no Anti-Memetics Division, we can still say, hey, that was created in collaboration with the SCP Creative Writing Project. We got dibs on that, people. It doesn't matter if you change it 10 degrees different for copyright reasons. It is still an SCP property. How do you un-SCP a whole book about SCP? You change the names. You call it, I don't know, the Federal Bureau of Control, maybe. Remember, Control was based on the SCP Wiki 2. It's just, they changed it all around so that they could have their own lore, sure, and so they could keep their copyright. It's called OU in the book. I have the book, I just haven't read it because I already know about there is no Anti-Memetics Division. But I have been meaning to read the new edition. I have both, the old edition and the new edition. And I've been looking at seeing, because Quantum also said that they tightened up some plot points and changed some things. So I do need to read it eventually. And Philip November, you actually didn't know about that, you say. Interesting. Neat. Actually, that's kind of cool that then you mentioned the Quinn's Ideas video on There Is No Anti-Memetics Division, even though you didn't know it was an SCP thing. That's, Control, like in the game? Yes, 100 stars. Control, the developers of Control did an interview with Kotaku, where they say, yeah, a lot of our stuff's based on the SCP community. So, yeah. And so, the Site 42 situation for me is I'm hoping that one day we can get enough people together to make these big projects in the SCP universe without having to file the serial numbers off. I do not fret Remedy Games of Control for doing that for Control. It's the only way you can really make a game that big right now in the capitalist system we're in. I don't fret Quantum for filing the serial numbers off to get the bag. No, hell yeah, get the bag, yo. I appreciate it. I just wish you didn't have to do that. And that's what supporting things like SCP Gallionic is so important with. If they make their Kickstarter goal to make their full short, then the next goal is they're getting paid to make it, which covers their cost. Then when they release it on YouTube, on all the other platforms they go with, I am hoping they are able to make back in ad revenue and donations enough to make their second episode. Then make that back enough to make their third episode so we can keep rolling with it. The same will go with Keter Labs and SCP Containment Breach the movie. The same will go with other projects that I'm working on behind the scenes. And so, that's really funny, Philip November, that you didn't know about that. I'm happy you brought it up so I could educate on the subject and talk about the heart of the SCP subject here. The heart of why we do this channel. So that we can push the SCP community to the point where the community can support these things, and we don't need the Hollywood system. We don't need to file the serial numbers off. One day, we're gonna do it. If Markiplier can do Iron Lung without the Hollywood system, we can do it too, people. Dr. Sherman, any tips for writing an SCP? I might not be old enough yet, but I want to do it for that when I'm old enough. I have something to work off and edit as I get older. Intern Clipsy, that is by far a very good outlook to have. When you are too young to write for the SCP database, that also means you are in your youth when your brain is firing on its most syllables? Cylinders. Learning languages is much easier when you are younger than when you are older. Learning things gets harder the longer you age. And so, teaching old dogs new tricks, you know the saying. So while you are young, take writing classes. Read a bunch of things, not just SCP, but read books, read fan fiction, read a bunch of SCPs if you want to write SCP specifically. Because you want to get a critical lens through which to analyze not just what happens in a story, but why the writer wrote it that way. Did they vary the length of their sentences to make it not feel monotone? Did they put a plot point in a certain space for a certain reason? And why does it pay off later? I have... What's the phrase I'm looking for? I have a video on this channel, a compilation of writing tips, SCP writing tips from SCP writers. So you can check out that little compilation, Clipsy. But also, we've talked about her once today, and we're going to talk about her again. Your favorite SCP YouTuber's favorite SCP YouTuber, Radiger, has a secondary series that she just started doing, the Analyzed series. And we actually just watched the intro of this. But when Radiger analyzes these SCPs, she is literally breaking them down from a writer's perspective. Why are they formatted the way they are? Why did the writer do this? And what effect did it cause? These are great sources for understanding how an SCP author thinks so that you can think that way as well. So I highly recommend going to Radiger and checking out that series of analyzed videos. Now hopping back to chat. Philip November, thank you for donating again to say, it's why your youth felt so long, because you kept learning new things compared to day-to-day being so monotonous in your adulthood. I also thought that had to do with your frame of reference. Like when you're young, a year is a long time because you haven't lived a long time. But when you're old, a year is a smaller fraction of your total time. A year is 10% of your life to a 10-year-old. But it's only 5% of your life, or less percent, as you get older. I mean, hey, ¿por qué no los dos? Hey, Doc, not able to stick around, but have a great day. Hey, Red Failhawk, thank you for checking in, throwing a chat to say hi, being a member, and also hitting that like button. If you just stop in to hit like and leave, well, we appreciate that. It's better than not coming in at all. I really want to know what happens when SCP-096 consumes Reese's Puffs. Never again. Never again. Doctor, are we allowed to show depressing anime to humanoid SCPs? Intern Viswiffen. Certain humanoid anomalies who have media privileges are allowed depressing anime. It helps them to feel catharsis and therefore cope with their containment a little easier. Just Pit. I hope they perform Hot to Go. Just Pit. This is the site director of the Site 42 of the SCP Foundation doing a HOTTOGO. Kidding. Well, that was the joke. So yes, I was kidding, but also that was the joke. Congratulations. I'm writing a Murder Drones fanfiction on Wattpad, but I'm not sure how long to make each of the chapters. Right now I've done one, which is 1K words, but it feels too short. Ophelia unavailable. When it comes to writing books and chapters, I'm going to tell you I haven't written a book, so I'm taking this by just blind faith here. Usually, to me, a chapter of a book is like a scene in a movie, or a couple of scenes put together with one overarching thread. So, in my eyes at least, that's what you're looking at. It doesn't really matter the wordage as much as what happens in it. Scene separations. That's my guess anyways. Is there an SCP Fight Club? Intern Unicorn Girl. There is no SCP Fight Club. We do not meet in the 7th floor gym of the East Wing of Site 42 on Friday nights to pit SCPs against each other in friendly sparring. Not death battles. No SCP death battles, and no SCP Fight Club either. I can tell you that there's no SCP Fight Club, because since there's no SCP Fight Club, there's no rules against talking about SCP Fight Club. Because if there were an SCP Fight Club, there would be rules against talking about SCP Fight Club, so I couldn't tell you that there is no SCP Fight Club. But since I can clearly tell you that there is no SCP Fight Club, that means I can also tell you that there is no SCP Fight Club because there is no rule against talking about SCP Fight Club. Obviously. What about the Versus series? Hey, what Dr. Sumerian gets up to in his free time, I have no say in, nor is Sumerian the referee. Said definitely, Dr. Sumerian is not the referee of the SCP Fight Club, with the most knowledge and being able to say that you are wrong about everything. Most annoying, anomalous ability on Earth. You could be completely right, and Sumerian's just like, you're wrong. Damn it, I'm wrong now? Shit. Philip November, thank you for donating in to say, is SCP-049 going to be retconned like he who we do not name? Okay. So. Content warning, we're going back to talking about serious subjects. No, Gabriel Jade was banned a long time ago, and Wiki staff did not see it to be necessary to handle the situation in the same manner they did with Bright. Bright was a very special case because of the high level of notoriety, because the character of Bright and the author of Bright were so interlinked as a self-insert character, because author Bright was creating Bright to clout chase victims being as the author of Bright. It's a much stickier situation. Remember how I always say, separating the art from the artist is a spectrum. There's levels to it. And in the case of 049, they decided that we don't need to delete that one. It's not as much of a deal as the Bright situation was. Okay. Done. Back from the serious business again. How long has the SCP Foundation been running for? Intern Polly. There is no canon on the SCP database, no solid canon, which means there are a lot of interpretations. In some universes, the SCP Foundation was founded in the late 1800s as a sort of rich people's hunting lodge club cult, kind of like the Magnus Archives, if you think about it. And then eventually became more modernized. In some universes, it started earlier. In some, it started later. In some, we have all the money in the world and we are super powerful. In some, we are a fly-by-night organization flying by the seat of our pants. It can go a lot of ways depending on the story. Intern Garrett, welcome to Site 42 staff. Thank you for subscribing. You know, I actually want to eventually write an SCP that's near a lake in Russia or Finland fishing, and if you come too close to him, you accidentally drown the lake, but not sure where to start. Interesting. So, an anomaly that's by a lake, and it will drown you if you get close to it. What I would suggest first and foremost is I can already think of an anomaly that's rather similar. And last time I tried to find this anomaly, it took me for freaking ever. So I'm hoping you guys remember. There's an anomaly that is a ghost that stands near a cliff and it tries to convince you to jump off of it. And the ghost essentially says, "What, are you chicken? You're not gonna jump? Frickin' loser." And I can't remember which anomaly it is. It does make me think of Maddie, but it's not Maddie. Desk. Intern Taki fan. Desk has warned you, please listen to Desk. We are not speaking about that character in any manner except for speaking about the crimes of the creator. That character is dead. We do not talk about it in a fictional sense anymore. Frogman, you are wrong. It's not 4877, although 4877 is quite similar. I remember that the anomaly is neutralized because at the end of the anomaly, whoever is talking to the ghost gets in a fight with it and accidentally throws the ghost off the cliff. And so the anomaly is neutralized because the ghost went off the cliff. Charger thinks it might be 1588. And someone else says 1529. I'm going to check both. 1588. No, it's not 1588. 1529. Not the King of the Mountain. Intern Imig, no, I am not reading Super Chat only. In fact, I've neglected a Super Chat because I'm in the middle of a subject. Reminder, yes, I am guaranteed to read all supers, but I also check the white chat. And the green names in chat, too. Desk. It is not in the 7000s. It is a much earlier SCP. Intern Gabriel, it is not the King of the Mountain 1529. The problem is there's so many cliffs. Tags to search. Ghost, neutralize, maybe murder monster. Good call. Let's try to do this tag search. So we're looking for an SCP. I want neutralized. Now I'm going to say cliff in the search. I think I found it. Got it. The answer is SCP-4026. SCP-4026, codename Guardian Angel, is a phenomenon affecting an estimated 100-meter stretch of land of the Beachy Head Chalk Headland in East Sussex, England. In order to activate 4026's event, a single subject must approach an affected area with suicidal intent. Sorry, content warning for suicidal intent. Upon coming within 5 meters of the cliff's edge, 4026-1 will manifest and engage the subject. -1 resembles a humanoid of indeterminate age and sex, which possesses minor cognitohazardous properties. Attempts to capture or describe any aspect of 4026-1, aside from its voice, have resulted in failure. Survivors of events claim to have no memory of interacting with 4026-1, but are able to recall being dissuaded from ending their lives via unexplained means, typically citing an overabundance of negative emotion and disgust at their actions. Addendum, on July 7, 2019, when Elliot Schneider, male age 32, approached a hidden 4026 observation area and triggered the anomaly. Notably, this is the first instance in which a 4026 event lasted longer than 5 minutes. Below is a transcribed log. Lovely view, isn't it? Bloody hell, where did you come from? I'm always round these parts. Good fun it is. Yeah, right. You thinking of jumping? That's why most people come here, you know. So what? Are you out here playing Guardian Angel? I appreciate the gesture, but really I'd rather not get into it. Just please leave. Oh no, I'd rather stay, have a chit-chat. What do you say? No. Why do you care so much? Don't worry about it. You married? No, not since last February. Any kids? She take them? Yeah, full custody. Took the dog too. Wow, even the dog. Sounds like she really did a number on you. Jesus, mate, are you trying to get me to jump? Oh, yes. It's why I'm here. Holy shit. It's quite a lovely show. It's a shame no one else is around to see it. This is how you get your kicks, you sick fuck. Are you planning on putting on a show or not? 30 seconds of silence. Well, I made up my mind. Oh, well, you do it. Only if you answer a question for me first. I typically would refuse, but you look promising. Go for it. Why do you like watching people jump off? No reason. Beats doing nothing. Really? You just like watching people jump off these cliffs? Simple as that. We're expecting some great complicated answer. It really doesn't get more complicated than that. Now go on then. I've waited long enough. Fuck you. Yes, fuck me and all that. Now get... Shit. The police are gonna fucking kill me. And then the ghost is neutralized. Because this guy threw it off a cliff. Good work, mate. Okay. Stun lock complete. Why did I even bring that up? Someone was going to write about an anomaly that drags you into a lake. So, whoever that was, however long ago that was, go read 4026 and use it as a little bit of inspiration. Remember, don't copy it wholesale, but use it. Consider how it could be like or different from your idea of the anomaly, and use that to iterate. Use it as a stepping stool in the right direction. What tags does 4026 have? After all that work, 4026 has auditory for an auditory anomaly, black comedy, yes, that was quite dark, cognitohazard, comedy, humanoid, memory affecting, neutralized, and SCP. And yes, for someone during the chat during that search, I do realize we completely missed the subject of this stream, which was what are the best tags on the wiki. We're going to have to save that one. Especially because tomorrow we're not going to get to do it because we have an interview. Reminder, since we're about 5 minutes from the end of stream, actually we're at the end of stream basically. Reminder, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific time, we have the creators of SOM Studios, SCP Galleonic, SCP the Anime, for an interview here on stream. Make sure to be here if you want to ask questions. You can get your questions in the Discord server and leave them for later as well. I will at here the correct channel for that after stream. But if you want to know more about SCP the Anime, tomorrow's stream is a great place to find out more. All right, Shadow Spiriting. Thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a waffle on your way past the commissary. Good evening, Dr. Sherman. I wanted to ask what kind of beginning to stories to get you interested the fastest. Personally, I enjoy when an author shows a snippet of a future event before anything else. So, while a flash forward is pretty damn good, Hell Yeah Sinners, for instance, I also enjoy a good cold open, where you're right in the middle of an action scene and you don't know how you got there, but the protagonist gets the opportunity to show off their skills right off the bat. One of my favorites is Harry... Is it Blackstone Copperfield Dresden? Yeah, Harry Blackstone Copperfield Dresden of the Dresden Files opening a book with the simple sentence, "The building was on fire, and it wasn't my fault." That's a line, man. That gets you to go, oh? Is that so? Okay. So, with that in mind, yes, that answers your question. Good work. Thank you for donating. That goes hard, not gonna lie. I know, Shadow Spiriting. That goes hard. Rebel Commander, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself some flapjacks on your way past the commissary. So I can go use the East Wing 7th floor gym on Friday nights and this ethics committee member won't find anything. All will be well. Yes. Yes, if you're going to be here Friday night at the 7th floor gym in the East Wing, you will find nothing untoward because there is no SCP Fight Club that can be easily moved to another location. That would never happen. That would never happen. Rebel Commander, thank you for renewing your membership here at Site 42. We appreciate your newly reminted membership and service. Dresden would be furious for putting his whole name out there, lol. That's true, Kuro, but, you know, I can't say it the way he says it. It's not just knowing the words, it's knowing how they're said melodically, so to speak. So, it has to come from your own mouth. See, I know the rules. I know how to deal with those who live in the forest with no name. Intern Nons Chris, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Get yourself a Colorado omelet on your way past the commissary. What would you have open if you put SCP-035 into 914? What would be the different setting due to 035? So, first of all, we only have one iteration of SCP-035. We would never experiment on that way. Because you never know what's going to come out of 914. It's very unpredictable. We could end up spawning a version of the mass that has a body, and then everybody dies. So, unfortunately, we are not testing that at all. Not a chance. Intern Life of Gaming, thank you for your first donation to today's stream. Grab yourself a hot pickle on your way past the commissary. What happens if you put SCP-507, the Reluctant Dimension Hopper, into SCP-5000? Would he teleport out of the alternate dimension? So first of all, SCP-507 is a humanoid anomaly, which means it's not a he, it's an it. Please practice proper pronoun parlance protocols at the Foundation. Anomalies are objects, not people. Secondarily, well, yes, any dimension that 507 is in, it teleports out of that dimension when it randomly teleports. So yes, it would teleport out of that dimension to another one. Yes. Rebel Commander, thank you for donating again to say, I might work out at the 7th floor East Gym on Friday nights. Good to know. You might not want to do that. You might make Puppy of Interest 42 codename Charlie grumpy. You hear that? You're don't mess with Charlie's groove. Okay? Charlie has a routine. You don't want to break the routine. Fine, I'll let you say hello, you whiny. You whiny. Come here. No, stop kicking my hand away when I'm trying to pick you up. You whiny. So whiny. Why are you so whiny? You are like grape juice that has been fermented. You are a fine wine. My allergy meds are not strong enough, so I have to be careful. I don't rub my eye with puppy hair. All right, Site 42 staff, we are at the end of stream. And as I do at the end of every stream, I tell you guys my favorite SCPs. It's a tradition around these parts. I'm not going to tell you that my favorite SCPs are the ones I personally wrote, though. That would be cheating. Sheer narcissism. Can't have that. But if you want to read the SCPs I personally wrote, you can go to the Sherm's author page in Site 42 Hub on the SCP database. There you can read the SCPs I personally wrote or contributed voice lines or sound effects to. And while you're on my author page, one tab over from the SCPs, there's a list of links. Links that people are often very curious about, but they just don't seem to find them, which is sad for them. But not you guys. You Containment Hazard Assessment Team, you'll find those links. You'll become members of Mobile Task Force Psi 42 codename Signal Boosters when you share, like, subscribe, do all that YouTube business for us and the projects we support. You will find our Patreon, our Ko-Fi, our YouTube Super Chats, and our YouTube memberships, and support us monthly. Whether you're on the engagement team or the money team, we appreciate your generosity of finances or time. That is how the Site 42 project stays afloat. We can keep the lights on because you all watch and support us, and so we as a team thank you for your service. This is how we get the big SCP projects, and I thank you all from the bottom of my heart for allowing us to move forward to make these SCP films and games and such and get them done. So, without further ado, my favorite SCPs in no particular order are SCP-3999, SCP-3043, SCP-008-J, SCP-Spooky-J, SCP-5031, SCP-5175, SCP-5320, and SCP-8980. Content warning on that last one, it's a bit of a rough read. Speed round. 3999-3043-008-J, Spooky-J, 5031, 5075, 5089, content on the last one, rough read. Now, Site 42 staff, this has been another Dr. Sherman's Coffee Break, a subsidiary of the anomalous broadcast from Site 42. I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. Remember the interview stream tomorrow. Do not forget to join us and SOM Studios, creators of SCP Gallionic, SCP the Anime tomorrow, as we hype them and get them to their 20-minute goal together. And as always, secure, contain, protect. I'll see you in the next video or stream. Come by the fire, lay down your head. My love, I see you're growing tired, so set the bad day by the bed and rest a while. Your eyes can close. You don't have to do a thing but listen to me sing. I know you miss the world, the one you knew, the one where everything made sense because you didn't know the truth. That's how it works. Till the bottom drops out and you learn we're all just hunters seeking solid ground. Don't stop trying to find me here amidst the chaos. Though I know it's blinding, there's a way out. Say out loud. We will not give up on love now, no fear. Don't you turn like Orpheus, just stay here. Hold me in the dark, and when the day appears, we'll say we did not give up on love today. The credit song is Orpheus by Sarah Bareilles. Be safe, be well, Site 42 staff, and as always, secure, contain, protect.